Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. With around 11 days left until the transfer window ends, we'll do a full, complete breakdown of what's left for Paris Saint Germain in the summer transfer window, departures and signings. Let's go into it. This is a big one. We'll go through every single thing that will be needed to set. Lucas Chevalier was obviously signed from Lille for around 40 million euros plus some cheeky bonuses. He was the first signing of Paris Saint-Germain this summer transfer window to replace Gianluigi Donnarumma, who'll be leaving the club. We'll soon be talking about Lucas Chevalier. He signed to Paris Saint-Germain. The second signing that Paris Saint-Germain made was Ilya Zabani for 63 million from Bournemouth. He's obviously coming in with Marquinhos getting older and Paris Saint-Germain badly in need of a right-footed centre-back. And that's it for signings. 103 million spent so far when it comes to transfers. Now we come to departures. Zag has left the club on a loan to Copenhagen. Hanash has left the club on another dry loan to Montpellier. Muscardo, dry loan to Braga. Milan Skriniar left the club for 7 million euros. And that's it. Now we'll take a look. What more has to be done? Nordi Mukiele. Obviously, it's basically already a done deal to 12 million to Sunderland. Randal Kolmani is also basically another departure already happened for 45 million plus 10 million in bonuses to Juventus. It's a loan that will basically become an obligation, hopefully, and Randal Kolmani will finally be leaving Paris Saint-Germain. Gianluigi Donnarumma will be following the departures, probably to Manchester City, who already has agreed terms on. All that's left is Paris Saint-Germain, and City have to find a price tag to agree on. Arnaud Tena should be leaving the club with Paris Saint-Germain putting a 6 million price tag on him, interest from La Liga and the Premier League. Presnel Kimpembe should finally be leaving Paris Saint-Germain after so many years at the club, and the price we're looking for is a very cheap one, around 5 million euros, most probably to Qatar. Next up is Carlos Soler, and the best we could probably get for Carlos Soler is a loan out, maybe to La Liga, probably. Renato Sanchez is still a Paris Saint-Germain player in Big 2025, and he will most probably be loaned out once again. Marco Asensio, Paris Saint-Germain are still trying to sell him. More clubs will be interested towards the end of the summer transfer window. Fenerbahce and Aston Villa would like to bring him back as well, and Paris Saint-Germain are looking for around a 20 million fee for the Spaniard. And now let's take a look at what could potentially also happen. Gonçalo Ramos is someone that potentially could leave Paris Saint-Germain if clubs are interested and willing to pay a high price, which Paris Saint-Germain are waiting for. But if no high price comes in for Gonçalo, he'll be staying at the club. With the recent report, obviously discussing the interest from Newcastle United regarding Gonçalo Ramos. Next up is Kangin Lee, who could potentially also leave Paris Saint-Germain, but only if a right offer comes in. Kangin Lee is attracting interest from English clubs as they have reached out to gather information about his situation. PSG would only consider selling the player if they receive a big offer. If the player was to leave the club, he'll be in the market to find a replacement. So Kangin Lee and Gonçalo Ramos, a bit similar. If a right price comes in, they will be looking to offload the players. But most likely will be staying at the club. Lucas Beraldo, potentially as well. PSG, after the fine Parisian victory in Super Cup, Luis Enrique reiterated his desire to strengthen the squad by improving it with new recruits as soon as possible. 2 recruits are expected, and a third is optional, conditional on departure of Lucas Beraldo. So I guess there's a small chance, likelihood of Lucas Beraldo leaving Paris Saint-Germain. I don't see it happen. I think these 3 players will stay, and all the other players we went through will be leaving Paris Saint-Germain. And when it comes to automatically would get around 130 million without Kangin Lee, Gonçalo Ramos, or Beraldo even leaving the club. So we would have so many funds to do even more with us only spending 103 million. But transfers, the recruits that Paris Saint-Germain are still looking at is Rodrigo Mora. You can obviously watch yesterday's video where I went through the recent reports that came out, which are tasty for PSG, but currently has a 70 million release clause, and that's what Porto are pointing to whenever a club wants to negotiate for the Portuguese talent. So 70 million euro is what we're looking at for Rodrigo Mora if you want to take him. And he's a player that Paris Saint-Germain are looking at to strengthen the attack, especially if Gonçalo or Kangin Lee leaves the club. And the other one is obviously Magnus Achleos. Monaco have slapped up a 70 million price tag, and both Inter and Bayer Leverkusen are unwilling to pay that price tag, including Paris Saint-Germain. So one of these players could potentially join Paris Saint-Germain, especially if Gonçalo Ramos or Kangin Lee departs the club. And that's basically it when it comes to the transfer window. Luis Campos and Luis Enrique at the moment are focusing on departures most likely, and they will only sign a player if an opportunity arises, like the Rodrigo Mora opportunity that has just arisen. When it comes to Paris Saint-Germain starting 11, I think it's perfect. I think it's absolutely beautiful. You could even change Marquinhos for Zabarni, who obviously came into the club. And these are the bench options that we have. You can even put Mayulu in the double pivot and put Kangi Lee in the number 10 position. Now that we're playing more with the number 10. So we're looking more for a raw winger. Paris Saint Germain have stated many times through reports, and now even Luis Enrique is mentioning it. We would not be signing a backup right back to Ashraf Hakimi, with Warren Zara Emery and Joao Neves alternating for that position. That ends it. 11 days left. Let's take a look at what Paris Saint Germain will do in the transfer window. Departures is the biggest thing at the moment they're working on. Obviously, a lot of clubs become desperate towards the window. Maybe a big injury happens, and then maybe they swoop in for one of our players. But that should be the main focus at the moment from Paris Saint Germain. And a recruit could potentially join only attackers. That's probably what we're linked with. We're not linked with a backup right back. We're not linked with a midfielder. If anyone comes, it will be an attacker. That's been it from boy PSG. If you have any more transfer news, transfer questions, let me know in the comments down below. That's been it from boy PSG. And as usual, allez, allez, allez Paris.